Live from Jackson, Tennessee, the Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights have their home opener of 8-man football since 2016. And they're facing off against the defending MTAC Football Champions, the South Haven Christian School Patriots, traveling long and far in tonight's Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Weekend. Good evening, everybody. Spencer Thompson along with Isaiah Austin, ready for this week's Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, part 2 of 3, and it's a good one. The Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights returning to 8-man football since 2016. It came out with a killer start, 42-32 over the Lighthouse Christian School Lions in Antioch on the road, pulling off a huge upset that hardly anybody expected. Meanwhile, the South Haven Christian School Patriots, we thought that they had some firepower, but they lost a 42-0 blowout against the Webb School up at home in South Haven. And the only problem with that is you look at the good players that came from the junior class, and it begs the question of, was that the South Haven that is going to play throughout the season, or is that the South Haven that just had a slip-up for their first game? And Isaiah, it's hard to say that South Haven is reflective of what the score was last week against the Webb School, but it's also really interesting that they lost a lot of their seniors, so it's partially expected.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a big week for understanding what every team actually has. We've seen teams match up, a lot of wins and losses here and there, but teams we're going to be able to see if South Haven can bounce back, Sacred Heart can build on what they've done, and see what kind of team either of them are capable of. And by the way, I never wear a hat on broadcast, but the Titans just went 0-4 in the preseason, and I couldn't be happier because that means 16-0.
It means 16-0 for sure. And you know, South Haven, they've at least had their struggles with last week, and we're willing to see what they are. But what's even more impressive is that Sacred Heart, they were down to 8 players in the Jamboree, had to get a squad out, but now their numbers are looking even more impressive at home. And they won by 10 points to Lighthouse Christian School last week. So they've got huge fire coming in here back to their hometown.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because they're almost to the numbers that South Haven has, and South Haven is a very, very deep team. So I'm very excited. We were excited about seeing this team, but worried about the numbers. But now that they have pretty decent numbers, it's going to be really exciting to see what they can accomplish this year.
Both teams a big matchup in the North for tonight. It's the Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights facing off against the South Haven Christian School Patriots on the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week.
the Sacred Heart of
Here we go.
Jesus home opener. Tonight's matchup is between the South Haven Patriots and your Knights. Now if you will please rise and turn your attention to the north end zone for the playing of the national anthem.
And the captains for the Knights and the Patriots head to the middle of the field for the coin toss. And maybe we'll get what we had last night where the referee turned on his lapel mic for the coin toss. The captains will meet.
I don't think we're going to get it, Spencer.
The referee did it last night. It was pretty cool. We managed to get the coin toss for the broadcast. The Sacred Heart Knights looking to make a decent run for the MTAC postseason, motivated off of their victory against the Lighthouse Christian School Lions in the North last week. Looking to build off of that success. And Sacred Heart has won the coin toss and elected to receive. They will defend the side closest to the parking lot. And we will see the Knights have the ball first on their home field.
Yeah, the Knights getting an opportunity to set the tone early for the team, set the tone early for the game. As a team, you're not necessarily see that as a good thing that you're receiving at the beginning of the game, but they need to see it as an opportunity to set the tone for the whole rest of the game and build off of what they did last week.
Both of these teams trying to set the tempo high. Especially Sacred Heart. They have a bye week after this game, but they face off against the Heat, and their final North game of the season is against Bowling Green in Week 10 of the regular season. And, of course, South Haven has an interesting stint. Next week they face off at Bowling Green. They go to a bye week. They host the Heat. They host CCS, a bye week, and then they go to Lighthouse. So all North games for the rest of the season until the final week against Franklin. It's actually a bye week. Actually, excuse me. It is South Haven hosting Franklin Christian. This was written as bye week on the helmet schedule.
Things change. It's all right.
So South Haven will play Franklin Christian at the end of the season during rivalry week, as
rivalry
week, or as Trent and James called it, rivalry week. So it's almost kickoff time here in Jackson. Players having their final huddles with their coaches. Coach Jason Zimmerman looking to build off of a MTAC Championship season and continue to train his guys and to motivate them going into the 2018 football season. And the Patriots take the field first.
Yeah, and I'm sure Coach Zimmerman has really put an emphasis on keeping his guys' heads up, because although they took a really, really tough loss last week, you got to remember that they went undefeated last year, and you got to remind them that one game doesn't define them. They still have that championship under their belt, and they look to build on it.
Of course, they went undefeated minus their one loss to Christian Community in the regular season.
That's right. I didn't even think about that.
That's why they had number 2 seed in the North. They traveled down to Webb for that postseason game, to which Webb retaliated the favor. And the kickoff, the game is underway in Jackson and falling on at the 39-yard line. Sacred Heart will bring their offense out for the first time at home in 2017.
Oh, that was a bold move by South Haven. They onside it at the first play of the game. They're looking to come out and make plays early.
We're going to see the offensive coordination of Judd Powers on this play, with the majority of his starters being freshmen, one senior at the starting position with one junior. So a lot of youth for Sacred Heart to build off of going into the season. I formation for the first offensive play of the game. It's a rollout to the right. Toss right, easy catch. That's Jalen Brown, tripped up at the 33-yard line for a big first down. Bold move by the Knights.
Yeah, and we can get the replay on this one. Looks like we're not going to be able to, but
I believe it. Yeah,
it
just caught
the
end trip of the play there.
A great find by the QB right there.
First and 10 on the 31-yard line. Here's a rush up the middle. Number 9 for Sacred Heart breaks free. Jake Wilson staying on his feet, brought down at the 20-yard line for another first down for Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart has been really impressive early. We're 20 seconds into the game, already in the red zone looking to score. This team is hungry, and their introduction back into the league has been spectacular, I think. They've really played well for the numbers and the adversity that they've faced.
The flip side could be said for the South Haven defense, 20 seconds in, allowing 2 first downs in a row. As it's handed up the middle. Hearts 44, Will Hoggle going to the left side. It's brought down for another first down and goal inside the 5.
And Will Hugley just almost to the goal line on that one.
First and goal, Knights.
I would expect him to do a similar play call here and try to push it in.
And for Will Huggle as a freshman to make such a big play like that.
Yeah, Hugley has really been pushing the ball down the field.
It's a rush up the middle.
Wow.
Hugley pushing through. The pile will be stopped just short of the goal line for a second and goal.
That kid is strong. You know, if you're going to give him the ball, you're getting 2 yards at least every time.
2 yards, second and goal.
Maybe second and goal inches, even though they don't have an official term for that. Sacred Heart looking to get a first score on their offensive drive. It's another I formation. And here's Hugley, and the ball loose. South Haven gets it. It's a rush all the way down. He's going to be caught up by a player, brought down at about the 50-yard line. That's trying to get his number off of the roster here. That's number 19 for South Haven.
That has to be one of the most confusing plays I've ever seen. It was like he was running straight up the middle, and then some kid full speed running the other direction. That's a momentum changer right there. I guess good stop by the defense.
Yeah, the defense managing to pick up the ball there, and South Haven gets a turnover on downs, and we'll see the offensive coordination of Michael Crawley for the first time on an extreme game of the week. Here's the ball handed up the middle. Here's Frank Gagliano up the middle. He gets to the right side. Tripped up at the 28-yard line, a big run for South Haven, and they're taking it down the field.
Yeah, able to find the hole in the 2 gap there and just bounce out to the outside. For a big athletic back, that's what you try to find, and the defensive line of a hole and then bounce it to the outside. Great run on the play.
First and 10 on the 29-yard line. Crawley, the sophomore quarterback. That's an attempted rush around. Emmanuel Dang unable to get past the first down marker. Gets a gain of 6 yards for second down and 4.
And the South Haven offense looking much improved early on. They look like they're really starting to get yards here, march the ball down the field, something we didn't see a lot of last week.
Here's second down and 4. Crawley pitches it again to Dang. Emmanuel Dang on the right side. Into the end zone for a South Haven touchdown.
Ball carrier Emmanuel Dang for a Patriots touchdown.
And Emmanuel Dang, he was on my hit list for the beginning of the season. Played great in the Jamboree. Here we get to see him score his first touchdown of the year. South Haven's first touchdown of the year, just 2.5 minutes into the first quarter on a team that didn't even start on offense. Great job by the offense.
2-point conversion attempt here for the Patriots. As far as we know, they do not have a field goal kicker, so Crawley will go under center with Gagliano in the backfield. Gagliano up the middle. He'll get into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. It is 8-2-0 with 9:31 left to go in the first quarter. The Patriots strike first blood with a big play made by Eric Sordo. So Eric Sordo, number 19 for South Haven, the junior, managed to get a big play on that rush. Or managed to get the big play for that fumble recovery. And kickoff for Alex Martinez, onside kick. South Haven is going to fall on it. It won't go 10 yards, it looks like. A flag thrown by the side official.
It goes out of bounds.
And we'll see if we can get the call from referee. Waiting to see if he's going to give us a penalty call on that. It's a false start. The initial signal is a false start call on the kicking team, and they're just going to move it up and an automatic first down for Sacred Heart.
Penalty flag is a false start on the Patriots.
It's first and 10.
That's a weird spot for an offsides.
Spotted at the 47-yard line. Sacred Heart back on offense, trying to get some magic going. It's going to be an audible play, shifting up to the middle. They've got Huggle in the backfield. Pitch it back to Wilson. Wilson trying to get past the South Haven defense and nothing doing. Actually, he gets tripped up, but stays on his feet. Breaks to the left side. Jake Wilson all the way into the end zone for a Sacred Heart touchdown.
That's the play of the week. I'm calling it already.
If that doesn't make the highlights, I don't know what a highlight is anymore.
I'll make sure of it. Look at that. Look how many tackles that he breaks here.
Almost got tripped up in the backfield by Insenio Saver.
He just juked out 8 guys. Broke 3 tackles, juked out the other 5, and was out. You see them go to that side. We thought he was down in the backfield. We thought it was going to be a loss of 5, but he turned it back up, went to the other side, and it was wide open.
So a 2-point conversion attempt by Sacred Heart, unless they have a field goal kicker.
Doesn't look like it.
They're going to go I formation and pass on the left side. Caught. That's Will Huggle with the 2-point conversion for Hugley. So 8-6 is the score for Sacred Heart with 9:12 left to go. It is tied up all at 8 here in Jackson. And kickoff. It's going deep and will go out of bounds. So the
Kickoff goes out of bounds.
Patriots get the ball on the 40-yard line. Close call there for South Haven.
See, one thing that I find interesting is that a lot of teams don't do that, especially in 8-man football within a 100-yard field, kicking it to a dangerous return man. Why they don't just take the penalty and make them march 60 yards? I've always wondered that.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Oh, they're re-kicking it.
So they're actually
that's the only downside.
So an
to
illegal
that.
procedure on the kicking team. They are going to re-kick the ball. I guess there was something we missed other than the ball going out of bounds. Managed to get a call from the official.
Well, I think
there.
you can either take it at the 40 or the 35. Can't remember which one, or you can re-kick it with a 5-yard penalty. That's what I'm under the assumption.
So Sacred Heart will re-kick it from their own 35-yard line. And Jacob Hayes is their kicker. Kicked off and whistles blown for, I believe, another flag. We'll see what the referee calls.
Offsides on the kicking team. 5 yards, re-kick.
So an offsides on the kicking team, and they're taking it back to the 30-yard line.
Now they're looking at an NFL kick situation.
Back on the 35-yard line. That's right, or back on the 30-yard line. They changed those rules.
They did. What is it? What did it used to be, and what is it now?
They changed. I'd have to look back at the formation stuff, as I haven't been watching as much of preseason. But they changed it for player safety, and some of the players were okay with it. Some of them were not. Emmanuel Dang on the right side. Emmanuel Dang is getting past all the Sacred Heart players and gets down to the 31-yard line. Emmanuel Dang with a huge return, and South Haven is just outside the red zone.
I think Emmanuel Dang is going to be the big playmaker for him this year. He's lethal. Every time he touches the ball, he can be gone.
From the Knights' 31-yard line.
First down and 10 on the 30-yard line. Ball handed off up the middle. That's Frankie Gagliano. First down on the 20-yard line. That puts the Patriots in the red zone.
And I think that was the shortest run of the game so far, and it looks like it's another first down.
Patriots first down.
It's been a high offensive game already.
Shortest run of the game being 10 yards, and we're not even done with the first quarter yet. You can easily tell how intense this game is going to be.
Yeah, and I think we expected more of a defensive showdown in this one.
Maybe just like what we saw last week with Sacred Heart and Lighthouse. It's a high-scoring game and going back and forth up and down the field. It's already showing its way with an 8-all tie. Crawley, motion on the play. Crawley's going to take it up the middle. Andrew Crawley stopped at the line of scrimmage.
44, Will Hugley.
Will Hugley's been fantastic already in this game. Played incredible last week, too. I see him as their X-Factor player. He can really change a game.
So Will Hugley being a dominant defensive force.
Offensive and defensive. He can get it done on both sides of the ball wherever you need to put him. He's got speed to match his strength, and he's really a guy to watch out for.
Here's Crawley, hands it off to Gagliano. Up the middle, Gagliano avoiding tackles and stretches out for the first down and goal on the 7-yard line.
I think whoever's going to seize momentum of this game is going to be the team that gets the first. Both offenses are clicking. Sacred Heart was able to get a stop on South Haven by a fumble recovery, if that's what you call it, at the 5-yard line. But no real defensive stops so far. I think the team that gets a stop, forces a 3-and-out, or forces a team to 4th down, it will be the team that seizes momentum.
Ball handed off. It's Gagliano again pushing through. Stopped short of the goal line at the 1. 2nd and goal.
It'll be 2nd and goal.
Of course, you look at a majority of the players that South Haven lost last year. It was mostly their seniors, but the unfortunate loss for them was Kobe Rojo, the junior, who looks set to be their senior quarterback at the lead. Chose to participate in other sports. As a rush up the middle by Emmanuel Deng gets stopped shy, and it's 3rd and goal.
And again, regardless of how the past game went, we know from last year that they have multiple quarterbacks that could step in and play. And we know that Crowley is a capable player. We're just going to need to see what he's capable of. We know they have guys that can play the quarterback position. So, I mean, everybody needs more time to learn the game and learn the flow, but we'll see how he goes with it.
It looks like an end zone rush for Andrew Crawley. They're replaying the down, it looks like. At least it looks.
Made by number 12.
I'm confused too because I've never seen that
I'm not
in high
sure
school
what
before.
I'm not sure what that signal was. It's 2-point conversion attempt, but it is a touchdown for South Haven.
Yeah, and South Haven really pushed it in there on 3rd down. They give it to their back. He pushes it into the end zone relentlessly, and now they're up by 6.
So Crawley will pitch it out to Emmanuel Deng, trying to go on the right side. He'll be immediately stopped. That was a good tackle for Jalen Brown. 14-8 the score. The Patriots lead on the road in Jackson.
2-point conversion is no good. And your score with 6:25 to go in the first quarter, South Haven Patriots.
The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. And TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. So far, the only stadium we have been to in 8-man football where they do not have lights built into the stadium. They have their rented stadium lights on the outsides of the field. As an onside kick is low and will go out of bounds. So Sacred Heart will start on the 40.
Yeah, you absolutely do not want Sacred Heart, or excuse me, South Haven to re-kick this, because these onsides have been really on the money. They caught a break there and now can start their drive at the 40. So you accept the penalty to the 40-yard line in that case. Smart move.
So we'll see what Jake Wilson and the offensive squad for the Knights can try on this drive. First down and 10. A little bit of confusion between their offensive coordinator.
Looks like they're running trips right.
Jake Keel in the backfield. Quick toss on the right side. It's to Wilson. Wilson on the right. He's got a man to block him. He's going on the outside. Jake Wilson breaks away. Touchdown, Sacred Heart.
Touchdown!
And we can see the replay here. That trips formation. They have enough on the other side so that the whole defense doesn't head that way. Great block on the outside. Able to get to the outside and break free. Fastest kid on the field.
I've always been a fan of hockey, but I am unsure why they're playing the hockey horn whenever there's a touchdown.
Because number 11 just checked the South Haven guy.
Yeah, very much. I wonder how you would compare icing into football. No way, shape, or form that would occur.
Wait, what?
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about checking. I'm just thinking of another penalty for hockey. There's no icing in football. I don't know if you
he
could make a
blocked him
comparison.
so hard.
I know what you mean about checking.
I guess it's like a punt that goes in the back of the end zone or something.
Here's a 2-point conversion attempt on the left, intercepted, but that's only the NFL rule where you can run back a 2-point conversion. Not quite at the high school.
They need to add
level
that.
yet.
That would be fun.
So the score is 14-all with 6:12 left to go in the game. Again, tight matchup here in Jackson. About 6:12 left to go in the first quarter. Tied at 14. And again, the Patriots only in their second year under the leadership of head coach Jason Zimmerman, trying to defend their MTAC Championship title as an onside kick is picked up and rushed. Frankie Gagliano pushing through. It takes the whole team to bring him down at the 37-yard line.
Frankie Gagliano
Make that the 42-yard line as the Patriots are back on offense.
And the Knights hope to see some of the defensive stops that they were able to get last Friday against Lighthouse. Their defense looked phenomenal the whole night. Despite not having huge numbers, they seem to be more conditioned than the Lighthouse team. So moving forward, the Knights are going to be looking out for their defense to come up with plays so that their offense will be able to produce down the stretch.
1st and 10 on the 43-yard line. Ball snapped. Emmanuel Dang up the middle, tripped up for a gain of 2 yards on 2nd and 8.
Emmanuel Dang with the carry.
And Emmanuel Dang was one of the big names that was called during the MTAC Championship last year as a freshman, making a big name for himself with several huge rushes in the MTAC Championship.
Yeah, and I think Emmanuel Dang is as good of a running back as he is. I really like him as a slot receiver because if you can get him out in the open field, he's unstoppable, and he has great hands. And they like to use him in a lot of different positions. In the Jamboree, we saw him in slot a lot.
2nd down and 8. Crawley, motion on the play under center. Pitches it out to Dang again. Emmanuel Dang up the middle. 2 yards short of the first down marker for 3rd and 2.
Carry by Dang. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Emmanuel Dang is definitely their workhorse. They give it to him whenever they need a big gain. Whenever I would expect to see another handoff here on 3rd and 2 because you're getting 3 or 4 yards at least every time you run the ball.
Third down and 2. Crawley with 2 men in the backfield. Hands it off to Gagliano. He'll get maybe a yard or 2 gain, but he's short for 4th down and 1. And likely South Haven will go for it close to the end zone.
Hey, that was a great stop. That was a tough situation to get a stop in, and now he's forced 4th down. The this should be, if you're South Haven, you're looking at a pretty easy 4th down conversion. But for Sacred Heart's defense, you're looking to make the first stop of this South Haven offense on 4th down and 1 inside the 35.
Crawley with a man to his right, 2 receivers out left. Crawley, pressure, over to Gagliano, 1st down and more. Frankie gets tricked up at the 26-yard line. 1st down and a 4th down conversion.
See, a team that has historically good play calling, and they go into a motion where the quarterback ends up being alone in the shotgun, dropping back with guys to his left and right. You always need to watch that under route for a running back or fullback to bounce out and be open, because you should not expect them to be looking for a deep route on 4th and 1. It's probably looking like a halfback split screen, what we saw there.
1st and 10 outside the red zone. Gagliano, ball loose, flags thrown. Possession given to Sacred Heart, but let's check the flag.
Recover.
Are you sure that wasn't just a...
It's 1st and 10.
Waiting for the call on the official.
I think it was the fumble flag. Yeah, it was the flag to signify a fumble.
Well, no penalties called on the play. It's 1st down on about the 30-yard line. Sacred Heart managing to get that big fumble recovery.
And it's okay, Spencer. I forgot my glasses, too. It's okay.
I think it's color blindness, too, because I saw yellow things thrown around on the ground. Maybe my cones are going bad in my eyes. On 1st down and 10.
You're too young for that, Spencer.
I'm getting
you
too
might
old
need to
for
see
this.
you might need to see an eye doctor.
I know a good one. 1st down and 10. Rush up the middle. Big 1st down.
Hugley with the carry.
Will Hugley, again, his name being mentioned. Big 1st down for Sacred Heart.
Play game.
Yeah, and a 1st down for the big back. Real strong, real fast. He's a guy who's a dual threat running back. He can pound it in the middle or bounce it to the outside. These guys are invaluable in this league. As an 8-man team, you need to be able to get short yardage and be able to facilitate the 50 by 100 field with all the open yardage. And I feel like he's one of those guys that can do that for him.
Making a name for himself as a freshman early on in the
There
season.
is no way that kid is a freshman.
Says all right on the roster, 9th grade. I formation. Pitch again. It's Wilson. Wilson can't spin out the tackle. He'll be brought down for a gain of about 3 yards. Make that 4 for 2nd down and 6.
Gain of 4 yards.
You're right, he is a freshman. I don't want to see that kid when he's a senior.
You can hear Zimmerman from the other side of the field trying to encourage his defense to get in there and make the tackles.
Yeah, and the defenses have been playing a little bit better as the game's gone on. But, I mean, of course, we've seen an offensive showdown here. Both teams relying on fumble recoveries to strip away the other team's possession in the red zone. So
2nd down and 6. Motion on the play. It's a pass out to the left. Catch made. Wilson. Jake Wilson staying on his feet. He's got a block, trying to find a way in. Flag thrown. He'll be brought down by Esteban Covington. But let's check our first,
Flag on the play.
technically our first penalty of the offensive play. The only penalty we've had is from a kickoff. Let's check the flag.
Penalty is holding against the Knights.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot. It is, however, still a 1st down.
So holding for a 1st down.
Knights, 1st down.
I mean, regardless of the holding penalty, South Haven has to figure out how to stop that little drag route. It seems to be open from the back of the tight end almost every single play. They need to cover the flats as well as the deep routes.
Rush up the middle. Jake Keel brought down at the 34-yard line. Second down and 3.
8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Jake Keel with the quarterback sneak. And again, the freshmen making their name early. There's youth in the Sacred Heart franchise.
Yeah, definitely. And this team is only going to get better. I could see this team being a bowl team or maybe even a playoff team this year alone. Just imagine in 2 or 3 years where this team is going to be. Already got tremendous talent and speed. It's going to be exciting to watch.
Second down and 4. I formation. Hoggle will not, and loses the ball, but they rule it down. Looked like Emmanuel Dang could have recepted it, but it's now Will Hugley trying to get the ball there, and it's 3rd down and 3.
I feel like both teams are trying to reach out just to get that extra yard, but it's not worth losing the possession for an extra yard. Just got to remember they have 2 downs to go.
And we go to James Shannon for our first scoring update of the game.
Hey guys, Lighthouse Christian hosting Franklin Christian, and they're tied at 6 in the first quarter.
Thank you, James. Franklin Christian up in Antioch, keeping it interesting against the Lighthouse Lions, who coming off of a 10-point loss to the team that's hosting now. It's a rush up the middle by Jake Keel, brought instantly down. It's a big move by Eric Sordo for 3rd down. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score tied at 14 between the Patriots and the Knights. And this Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by Tennessee High School. Started the second quarter for 4th down and 6. Ball snapped and a rush on the right side by Jalen Brown. He's going to get to the outside. Jalen Brown is into the end zone. Touchdown, Sacred Heart.
Touchdown, Jalen Brown.
The senior for Sacred Heart gets the Knights up in the second quarter.
And the senior, Jalen Brown, last week and this week, emerging as the leader of this team, the guy who can turn it on when he needs to and get his team a victory. Last week, got a couple big touchdowns against a very, very strong Lighthouse defense. This guy's really emerging as the leader of this young team.
2-point conversion attempt here for the Knights. 2 men in the backfield. It's rush on the right. It's Huggle trying to get in, and the 2-point conversion is no good. Score is 20-14 with 11:52 left to go in the second quarter. The Knights leading over the Patriots.
20.
Kickoff here for the Knights. Going to kick it high to the left. Recepted, going on the left side. That's Ray Lopez, stopped down at about the 47-yard line. And the Patriots are back on the move.
Both teams have been starting in great field position lately. Both offenses able to get into the red zone easily with just a 30 or 40-yard drive.
From their own 48-yard line.
So the kicking team's not making it very difficult on the offenses to march down the field.
And the South Haven squad under the offensive leadership of Michael Crawley, who led them to their national championship appearance back in 2015. They lost that game and then went on to their winless streak in 2016 for their first year in MTAC play.
2 yards, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Crawley still on that offensive squad to help lead him to a championship win in MTAC last season.
And if I know anything about Crowley, it's that he can make the best of any situation. He knows where to put guys in the right positions and situations to succeed as an offense, and how to put points on the board, in any kind of circumstance, even cycling through quarterbacks for the entire year.
So moving receiver back, 2nd down and 9. And movement. It's maybe an offsides on the defense.
Encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty. Remains for 2nd down.
So an encroachment on the defense. That's encroachment on the defense, so they move it up 5 yards for 2nd down and 4.
Timeout, White. Timeout, White.
And a timeout called by South Haven with about 11:03 left to go in the second. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by Tennessee High School Football. 2nd down and 4. South Haven in Knights territory on the 46. Ball snap, handed off up the middle. Short of the first down is Emmanuel Dang for a 3rd down and 1.
Emmanuel Dang on the carry.
And it looks like the Knights defense is starting to figure out what needs to be done to stop this offense. Although you're not going to be able to completely stop and shut down Emmanuel Dang. Suppressing him as much as you can is your best bet at winning this game.
Third down and 1. And they're going to quarterback sneak it with Crawley. It looks like he got the first down, but they may bring out the chains for a measurement.
Carry by number 12, Crawley.
We've only ever seen, I think it was once during the football season. It may have been at another point. An official's timeout. They are going to measure it.
And I think it's going to be past the line.
I believe this will only be the 1st or 2nd time this season that we will see a measurement for a first down. If only we had a close-up camera there to see how it is. And it is a first down past the marker.
First down, Patriots.
Whenever I see these first down measurements, I'm reminded of last year when one of the NFL officials used an index card to tell a first down on that Sunday night game between the Giants and the Cowboys. Maybe one of the high school officials.
I remember when Tony Romo kicked it. He kicked the ball. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. He pulled. Chanel pulled a Tony Romo.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Pass on the right side. Intercepted. Sacred Heart has taken it. That's Will Walker on the interception.
Great eyes by Will Walker. I don't think that was a great decision by Crowley, and it results in a first down for the Knights. But as I was saying, I was not talking about FCA. I was talking about when Tony Romo, he kind of walked over and whistled and kicked the ball past the first down line.
Quoting a fellow broadcaster of mine earlier on, Shindell pulled a Tony Romo.
I am not disrespecting Shindell.
No, I'm not. I'm just making a quote here.
I just want to make it clear that I'm not referring to that.
Okay, I got you.
It was a sad day for sports.
It was a sad day for FCA sports. A tear-inducing day for CCS, tears of joy as they advance to the championship in a hard-fought battle. Brought down in the backfield, Jake Wilson for a loss of several yards for 2nd down and 15.
Play lost 5 yards. That'll be 2nd and 15.
Jake Wilson has a lot of strength for a freshman, but nobody can do anything when you're getting double-teamed on the outside.
So it's 2nd down and 15 for Sacred Heart after the interception. And time called on the field. It's a timeout for Sacred Heart.
Timeout.
And the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. And Tennessee High School Football.com.
Wayne.
Here's a toss on the left side, incomplete through the hands of Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown, incomplete, brings
And
up third and
third
15.
down and 15.
Yeah, it just slipped through his hands there.
So third down and 15. Sacred Heart lining up. Ball high, snap on the right side. Rush up the middle. Gain of about 4 yards on the play for fourth down and 11. There's only so much Jalen Brown could do on that play. And we think we're going to see the first punt of the game.
Yeah, that's the first 3 and out for this Sacred Heart team. The entire game. I think it's the first 3 and out of the game for both teams.
So we'll see our first punt of the game, whistle blown.
Delay of game on the offense.
Delay of game called on the offense.
And this delay game really puts them in a bad situation with Emmanuel Dang deep. They're going to struggle to get this ball off with the kick, but they're going to have a lethal return man standing right at their own 45.
So back 5 yards for fourth and looks like about 16. So Sacred Heart will punt it away. There's Jacob Hayes with a punt. Emmanuel Dang in the backfield picks it up at the 46, spins a tackle out. Avoids 4 tackles, make that 5. The 6th man brings him down at the 27-yard line. South Haven deep in Knights territory.
See, that was dangerous, kicking it to Emmanuel Dang. Now they only made up for 10 yards. What could have been worse if they weren't able to make that tackle.
First down and 10. Crawley hands it off up the middle. Scagliano trying to push through. Gain of about 3 yards on the play. Second down and 7.
I feel like we're seeing a similar game to what we saw last week at Lighthouse, where we expected to see a shootout from the first quarter, but then after that, the defenses really started stepping up, and we started seeing a lot of effort on the defensive end, both teams scrapping for yards, and I feel like that's what we're seeing tonight.
Here's second down and 7. Crawley hands it off. Dang, tripped up in the backfield.
Who else?
Tackle by Will Hutley.
Dang, tripped up in the backfield.
It's third down.
So third down for South Haven.
Who else than Will Hugley? He's making plays out here. Big stop in the backfield. Brings it to 3rd and 9. It's going to be a tough first down this time. Previously, they've had some easy third down conversions, but here they got 9 yards to make up.
About 6:35 left to go in the half. Here's a pitch out to Dang again. Emmanuel Dang tripped up in the backfield for 4th down and 12.
Dang, tackled by number 33, Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown with the tackle. The senior
down.
proving to be a very beneficial asset on offense and defense.
Yeah, Jalen Brown has been fantastic, and not just him, but these young guys. I don't know how they learn so quick, but they are wrapping up and driving to the ground. No arm tackling. This is premier tackling at its finest tonight. These guys are wrapping up and driving to the ground, something you don't see very often for players of this age.
So 4th down and 11, South Haven will go for it on the 31-yard line. Crawley with a high snap, looking for the pass across the middle. He finds it. Reception made by Frankie Gagliano. Frankie Gagliano for the touchdown.
Touchdown, number 21, Frankie Gagliano.
And both teams leaving the flats wide open. They find Gagliano over there just running a 5-yard in route, wide open, not a defender, for 20 yards, and just bolts into the end zone for a touchdown. We're all tied up.
Two-point conversion attempt incoming for South Haven as they take the lead late in the second.
This is one of these games where two-point conversions really do mean a lot. How many you can convert, that could be the difference in a game like this.
So in the second quarter right now, Lighthouse Christian School leads over Franklin Christian Academy 12-6.
Timeout, Patriots.
So far, all of those scores. Looks like the last, it hasn't been updated on the Tennessee High School football app. It's 14-8 with a fumble return by Lighthouse Christian School. So a timeout called.
Yeah, and defenses have really been playing well in this quarter. Barring a couple big plays, the pass rush and the rush defense have been fantastic. Big plays have happened because the linebackers are not stepping up into those flat routes, and they're wide open. If you trick the defense and make it look like you're backing up for a deep pass, it seems like everyone flies back, afraid that the quarterback is going to throw it deep, and the flat route is wide open, and that ends up getting more yards than a deep route ever would have.
Two-point conversion attempt here for the Patriots. Crawley with a man to his left and right. Deng to his right, Gagliano to his left. Hands it off to Deng. Manuel Deng into the end zone for a two-point conversion. That makes it
Conversion is good.
Makes it 22-20 with 5:42 left to go before the end of the first half. A two-point lead for the Patriots over the Knights. Close game here in Jackson.
Yeah, it's really been a tremendous game. I'm so glad that we keep calling the best games of the week. I don't know if James just has way more knowledge than we do or what, but we just keep agreeing on the best game of the week.
It's either here. I mean, the score right now for Lighthouse FCA is 12-6, so it's still a tight ball game up there. But
I mean, we got a 2-point difference up here.
Just under 6 minutes left to go before halftime. South Haven is going to kick it off here. Alex Martinez, wearing the former number of Kobe Rojo, will get the onside kick low and picked up by Sacred Heart. Let's take it to about the 47-yard line.
By number 8, Will Kale.
Sacred Heart back on offense.
1st and 10 Knights.
And again, excellent field position for Sacred Heart. I think that the Patriots know that this offense is playing so well, and in order to regain the momentum and take seize of this game before halftime, they need to get back-to-back scores here and burst out to a potential 10-point lead. But with this offense having so much firepower, it's really hard to stop them, especially with the field position they're at now.
First and 10 for Sacred Heart. I formation, motion. It's a pitch in the backfield. Will Keel. It's Jake Wilson with the rush. Is tripped up in the backfield at the 41. Loss of 5.
I'm surprised there's no face mask call on that one, but great pursuit by the defender. Great wrap-up. Thought there might have been a face mask, but didn't completely see it. But they're backed up 5 yards. Great stop by the Patriots defense.
So 2nd down and 15. Motion again. Pitch back to the same man, Jake Wilson. Double pitch. Up the middle is Jake Keel. Getting back to almost the original 1st and 10 marker for a 3rd and 11.
Man, that South Haven defense saw that the whole time it was going on, and that's a tough play to read. But as a coach always said, don't always just watch where the ball's going if you're a lineman. Watch where the line's pursuit lines are. If they're coming to pursue you, they're coming to your right, and the play's going to the right, then to be a little bit suspicious and watch the backside to make sure there's no trickery going on.
So 3rd down and 11. It's Brown and Huggle in the backfield. Brown is going to take the rush to the right. Jalen Brown brought down at the 50.
Jalen Brown on the
4th
carry.
down and 6. On the 50-yard line in 8-man football, do you punt it away here as Sacred Heart?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it looks like the punt team's coming out.
That's a coaching move. That's a coaching move you would tell people.
You got to be aggressive, Spencer. You got to be aggressive. You got to show that, hey, you're going to stop me? I'm going to go for it and get the first.
When are you coaching 8-man football?
What?
When are you going to start coaching the offense?
To be decided.
4th down and punted away by Jacob Hayes. No one in the backfield for South Haven to receive it. Going down almost out of bounds to about the 13 or 14-yard line.
Okay, that was a heck of a punt. If I had him, I might punt.
It'll be 1st and 10 Patriots for their 15-yard line.
I mean, I didn't realize that they were going to be booted that far deep. And then, yes, I would punt in that situation. But if I didn't trust the punter, absolutely not. I'm going for it.
So 3:08 left to go before the end of the 1st half. We'll see what South Haven can do deep in their own territory.
And although there's been a lot of firepower, this has been a fairly quick 1st half. We're only an hour into the game.
It's about the same length of the 1st half as we had last night for the Riverside Swanee game. Here's 1st and 10. Crawley hands it off. It's a rush up the middle, weaving through. Nice rush, trying to.
Number 10, Jake Hale.
That was Emmanuel Dang with the rush.
Carry by Emmanuel Dang for a 1st down.
1st down for Emmanuel Dang and the Patriots.
And Emmanuel Dang looks really good. And, of course, they're really missing Xavier this year. But Emmanuel Dang filling in as the starting running back from now on. He's really played well. He showed that although they did lose one of the best players in the league, it's time for those young guys to step up, and I feel like he's leading the charge.
1st and 10. Crawley hands it up the middle. That's Gagliano again. Frankie Gagliano to the outside. Forced out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
Gagliano on the carry for another Patriots 1st down.
Big 1st down and 10.
Yeah, Gagliano and Dang have been having an excellent game on the ground. They're unstoppable when they touch that ball. But, Spencer, I hate to point this out, but 3 plays later, look where we are. The place where we could have gone for it.
Right there.
And as in we, I mean, jokingly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not biased, guys.
Of course not. No, nobody thinks you're biased,
Well, FCS isn't playing.
except for those who think you're biased. The ball stopped 5 yards past the 1st down marker.
Hey, FCS isn't even playing in this game, so it's not like I'm being biased about anything here. I'm just very excited to see both teams, what they've got. I got no prejudice.
As far as we know, it's a good thing.
That's the truth, Spencer.
Why do you laugh after you say that? Why are you sweating when you say
Because
this?
it's almost funny.
No, you're.
Why would I have a prejudice to?
No, you're sweating because it's hot in this press box.
That's
It's
true.
a hot night here in Jackson. Ball snap. Crawley hands it up the middle. Frank Gagliano. Gain of about 3 yards on the play for 3rd down and 2.
We got a minute 43, and I'm guessing not a ton of timeouts here. Looks like they're taking one right now.
Timeout called by South Haven with a minute 43 left to go in the first half. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and Tennessee High School football.
I haven't tried it, though.
It's 3rd down.
3rd down and 11 for South Haven. Trying to get a score here before the end of the half. Flag thrown, and I believe they're gonna call it on the offense. Pass on the right side. Intercepted but incomplete, out of bounds, but there is a flag on the play. Looked like it was early on. It may have been some holding on the offense.
Yeah, it was something that happened on the line of scrimmage here. It was probably a holding call on the offense or defense. It's an illegal shift. I'm surprised they let the play go on after that.
Shift on the Patriots.
I assume that was a blown whistle on a dead play.
They still let the play go on. So
maybe they give the defense an opportunity to get a stop before they call
Legal
that.
procedure.
So they just called it an illegal procedure on the offense. So 3rd down and 6. Motion. Crawley pitches it to Dang. Gets a gain of maybe a yard for 4th down and 5.
Emmanuel Dang for a yard. It'll be
Clock still running down.
5.
Now, if you're Sacred Heart and you get this stop, what's the move?
You're the football analyst. You're supposed to know that question.
Oh, yeah.
I'm supposed to prompt you with those questions. I mean,
I'm just interested.
If Sacred Heart gets the stop here, depends on how much time is left on the clock, but they could try to get one more score since they're down by 2.
And they're giving the ball up in the second half.
Crawley is going to try to find a pass up the middle. He gets it to Gagliano. Will he get to the 1st down marker? Gets on the outside. He's going to cut inside.
See,
did he get it? He did and more.
There it is again. They have to defend that flat route. It's wide open every single time, and I'm surprised they're not running it every play because they don't want to do it enough where the offense adjusts or the defense adjusts, and they have not adjusted at all yet. It's been wide open, and getting Gagliano in the open field with this huge frame, he's hard to stop, and you don't want to get him on the open field. Somebody needs to guard that. I mean, the pass rush is incredible, but maybe drop one guy back because he's having to get rid of the ball, but he doesn't have to look long for that wide open receiver on the flat.
Patriots have a minute and 16 seconds left to work with to try and get a score here. 1st down and 10. Crawley looking for the pass across the middle. He won't find it to Emmanuel Dang. Bobbles it on the ground, incomplete. Second
Pass
down.
intended for number 5, Dang, is incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Looks like a good pass in concept, just a little bit lower to the ground on Crawley's accuracy.
Yeah, and almost completed. But as a quarterback, you can't knock yourself for those kind of throws because that was a great throw. When it's a throw that comes within inches, a lot of times you're going to make a mistake, but you have to keep sticking with it. It's hard to control your passes that much. So they just need to worry about 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down, and just get the ball rolling and try to score a touchdown before this half ends.
2nd down and 10 on the 30-yard line. South Haven with a receiver on right. Motion. Crawley, flag thrown.
Penalty flag on the play.
Dead ball, false start.
False
on the
start,
offense.
Patriots.
2nd down.
So a dead ball, false start on the offense. The official still having his lapel microphone on.
Not again.
Double stakes.
And we'll go ahead and get his mic cut off there.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have another Lancaster moment.
That one wasn't too bad.
It was funny.
It was just a funny moment. We'll tell that story at some point. As it's 2nd down and 15. Crawley in the shotgun, deep toss on the left side, and he's caught! Emmanuel Dang into the end zone! Patriots touchdown!
Emmanuel Dang for the touchdown.
It's a shame our replay isn't working on right now because that was one of the highlights.
Yeah, no, you will see the replay on the Extreme Highlights Week 4 edition. That will certainly be on there. That play, he was not wide open. He was heavily covered, but he went up and grabbed that ball and ran it in for a touchdown. I believe that was a 25-yard pass by the young Andrew Crowley. Great pass and great reception by Emmanuel Dang.
So 2-point conversion attempt here. Emmanuel Dang on the outside, flag thrown. 2-point conversion is
Emmanuel
good.
Dang for the 2-point
We'll see what the
conversion.
official
There
calls.
is a flag on the play. Penalty flag is holding.
And the referee now thinks his lapel mic is off. Still has it on. Okay, now he.
On the offense.
There we go.
10-yard penalty, retry.
Now he's got it adjusted.
I was afraid he was going to think he was turning it on when he was turning it off and turning it off when he was turning it on.
That is why they have lights to indicate
Yeah.
what microphone's being on. So now Crawley with a man to his right and left holding on the offense. The ball's back on the 13-yard line. Emmanuel Dang going to the right side, tries to cut back in. He won't make it. 2-point conversion is no good. 28-20. The score with 1:02 left to go before the end of the first half. The Patriots are leading by 8.
Knights 20.
Traded.
Kickoff here. Both teams trading off some good scores, and the ball loose, picked up. We'll see if Sacred Heart is going to try anything before the end of the first half. But both teams trading touchdowns throughout the game, just that the Patriots right now have the better side of the story in the first half.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times you'll see games that are blowouts. A lot of times you see close games, but games like this where 2-point conversions mean so much that because they didn't get that 2-point conversion, they now have an opportunity to tie this game up if they can march by halftime. And if they would have gotten the 2-point conversion, this still could have been because they don't kick field goals, a touchdown difference in the game.
So we'll see if Sacred Heart tries anything before the end of the half. Looks like Lighthouse Christian School is leading Franklin Christian Academy 14-6 at halftime up in Antioch. So the game is staying close between the Lions and the Knights.
I thought that would be 100-80.
And scramble, toss on the left side. How did he not catch that? Jalen Brown attempting the reception.
Oh, that is a tough break.
But you were right at the matchup between the Falcons and the Lions staying close, 14-6. You would think it would be a different scoring game.
Yeah, I was saying. So I thought the Lighthouse FCA game would be like 100-70 or something. Because if them versus Bowling Green, Bowling Green's defense is not anything special, but it's not horrendous by any stretch of the imagination. That was a 78-50 game. I was like, Lighthouse, you have one of the best backs in the league against one of the best backs in the league, both high-octane offenses. I expected this to be a huge scoring game, but the opposite's happening.
It's a scramble in the middle, brought down for a huge sack. That's 27 of South Haven. Some of the stuff not updated on the roster. That's 27. That's Barnhill, the junior, getting the tackle.
I feel like South Haven is dying to go to this halftime break and talk things over. They really seem to hit a roadblock here about halfway through the second quarter. Haven't been able to get anything going offensively. Defense has been strong, but offensively they haven't been able to get anything going in about 6 minutes.
So third down and about 14. Clock winding down with 15 seconds left. I think South Haven and Sacred Heart are just going to let this wind down. They're headed to the sideline. And that will essentially be the end of the – or I think they actually called timeout prior to. I think the – trying to tell what the referee is saying here. I think they called a timeout prior to the clock expiring.
This is incredibly confusing.
So I think they called a timeout prior to the clock expiring, so there may be one untimed down before the end of the first half.
And there might be one play they've been preparing for a moment like this. That would be my only explanation for what's going on right now. You don't see that a lot. I mean, they could have tried to get the ball down the field.
You could see you could get a close-up of Judd Powers and seeing the emotion he's showing to his guys with the play he's about to concoct. Honestly, I think you're right. I think you may be right about this, Isaiah. They're planning something we've never seen before.
If you're seeing about 30 seconds on the clock, 40 rather, your team is ready to huddle up, ready to run a play, you can get a pass incomplete, clock stops, you can reassess. Why wait till 1 second on the clock? Because it's risky. That would be my only explanation for what's going on right now. But we're about to find out. I could be totally wrong. It could just be wanting to go to halftime. I don't know. Maybe wanting to use their last timeout.
That may be the case. They may have just run it down, and the play clock may have expired. It may have expired with a dead ball before the end of the first half. But no, they've got two receivers on the left. We're going to see a potential trick play. Here's Keel in the shotgun. Scrambles deep, toss on the left side. Catch made. That's Crawley tackling Wilson. He won't be able to make it. And that is the end of the first half. 28-20, the South Haven Christian School Patriots leading on the road against the Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights. We'll be right back in just a moment for the halftime report. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and Tennessee High School. Welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Spencer Thompson, and he doesn't believe it, but the Hall of Famer for Franklin Classical School, Isaiah Austin, 28-20, the score at the halftime. The Sacred Heart Knights are down by 8 to the South Haven Patriots, the defending MTAC champions. Now, an interesting play right at the end there in the second quarter, but the big picture right now is that it's just like we saw against Sacred Heart and Lighthouse last week. It's back and forth, drive down the field, touchdown, drive down the field, touchdown. Just playing off of each other and either forcing one to punt or ending in a score. What is it that has made South Haven able to break that and get up here by 8 points?
I think that it's experience is really the thing. They know how to play 4 quarters. A lot of the guys, especially, I see 2 names stick out to me, Emmanuel Dang and Frankie Gagliano, 2 guys who are experienced, have played. They can really shoulder the load offensively for 4 quarters. And I feel like for Sacred Heart, they're still learning. They played very strong against Lighthouse, but I think South Haven is probably a stronger team at this point. And South Haven is really going to need to regroup. Halftime's probably the best thing that could have just happened for them right now. They got to regroup and figure out a new strategy going into the second half because now they 100% know their opponent.
Now, South Haven, they've had some success on offense, and obviously they've scored 28 points in 2 quarters, but they've had several interceptions by Andrew Crawley. What's it going to take obviously the interceptions are a huge impact of the Sacred Heart defense doing well, but what's it going to take for Sacred Heart to get over this hill and take the lead?
I think they're going to need this stop, and I don't necessarily understand. I do understand the play call. You wait till it gets to 1 second, call the timeout, and then try to throw this ball deep because you have a freshman quarterback. You don't want him to throw the pick and then see a drive emerge from them. But I think that they miss an opportunity to score on that last possession, and now they're going to be kicking the ball off to South Haven second half with the ability for them to go up 2 touchdowns. So what they're going to have to do is get a stop and come out with momentum, and they're going to have to drive down the field and tie this thing up. I'm telling you, against the defending MTAC champions, if they get up by 2 touchdowns, they're going to be hyped up. They had a rough week last week. They wanted to come back and turn things around, and they're hungry. So you got to make sure you stay in this game till the 4th quarter if you're going to have a shot at winning this.
They have 2 more quarters to win it and get their first victory of 2018. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week will resume in about 8 minutes. We'll be right back. And start of the second half, Sacred Heart kicking off since they received. Reception back, it's Gagliano up the middle to the 36-yard line, and South Haven back to work in the second half. Proud to be here from the Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights Stadium. Don't know the name of their field, but we're proud to be here.
FMY Field.
Probably.
No, it is.
FMY Field. FMY Field in Jackson, Tennessee. Spencer Thompson, Isaiah Austin, Wayne Weathers on sound. Production manager James Shannon off site. Wishing you all a happy Labor Day weekend in our second Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week broadcast. Emmanuel Dang tripped up in the backfield for a loss of 5.
Number 5, Dang, brought down by number 55, Miller Boyd, for a loss.
Proud to bring you our second of 3 in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Triple header this weekend. We had that big game last night from Fayetteville with the Mountain Lions and the Knights of Riverside. Now the
you probably picked the right game for that night.
Well,
the FCS game lasted about 45 minutes.
We would have been rained out if we were there, as Frank Gagliano on the left side is loose to the 30. Down to the 26-yard line, a big gain. Let's see if our replay works on this one.
For a first down, Patriots.
As soon as you give it time to render.
Gagliano getting to the outside, and as we can see, when he goes out of bounds, the ball just goes flying. Good thing he was out of bounds when that happened.
Yeah, we missed the initial parts of the play, but it was good. It was good field recognition or field of vision to recognize and weave through the defense on that.
Yeah, definitely, and he cut up the hole, and that was wide open for 20 or 30 yards on that play.
First and 10 for South Haven on the 39. Handoff, Frank Gagliano again, push up the middle, gain of 6 yards on the play for 2nd and 4.
I don't think Sacred Heart has gotten back-to-back line of scrimmage stops yet, and that's what their big problem is. They can get stops behind, but I feel like they're giving up big plays directly after, and they're putting themselves in. They are getting to 3rd down and 4th down situations, but they're too close to the 1st down line that they're not able to produce anything.
2nd down and 4. Again, a handoff to Frank Gagliano up the middle. Just short of the 1st down marker for 3rd down and 1.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
And I can say definitively, no matter the outcome of this game, South Haven did bounce back in this one.
And whistle blown. It's time called on the field. I believe they're going to try for a measurement here to determine if it was a 1st down.
It looks like the 3rd down marker is past the 1st down marker. I'm a little bit confused.
And they do move it for a 1st down and 10.
Play resulted in a 1st down for the Patriots. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 28.
Crawley in the shotgun. Man to his left and behind. Handoff to Emmanuel Dang on the right. Emmanuel Dang to the outside. Down to about the 15-yard line for a 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Yeah, and another 1st and 10 on the play. They're really marching down the field. You got about a 50-yard drive that they put together so far. We're only 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter here.
First down and 10 on the 19. Crawley hands it off. Gagliano has an opening. Finds it in the middle. Brought down by Wilson. Another 1st down and 10, but it's a first
down and goal.
For a 1st down.
And no big plays on this drive for Sacred Heart. They've really South Haven. Oh, man, they need to just we need to go SHJ and SH. They put a great drive together. No big plays, but they've been able to march very quickly across the field.
Handoff to Gagliano up the middle. Slides in.
Gagliano on the carry brings up 2nd and goal.
It's about 2nd down and goal. So 2nd down and goal on about the, looks like the 4 or 3 yard line. The Patriots trying to get another score here and increase their lead.
Yeah, another score would be huge here in a game where it's gone really back and forth. If they can get to 2 touchdown lead, their offense is hard to stop regardless.
And false start going to be called here.
We might hear everybody but the center right now.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
False start.
So we normally don't get player calls in at least the experiences we've had so far.
That's
with
right.
the lapel mic. They hardly call any of the players.
What's interesting is, though, that as a player, I was able to hear them calling out the players more than when we're up here and the mic is on. It's confusing to me.
I guess it's for their formal penalty announcements. They may not announce the player. They
Maybe so.
Only giving it to the coaches. 2nd down and goal on the 9-yard line. Crawley hands it off. It's Dang up the middle. Emmanuel Dang pushing through.
Emmanuel Dang
Gets
on the
to
carry,
about the
brings up 3rd and goal.
3-yard line for 3rd and goal.
Now, this is one of the most important stands of the game here for the Sacred Heart defense. At 3 yards from the end zone on 3rd down, if you can get 2 stops here, your offense can start the drive, only down by a touchdown as opposed to 2. And historically, you do not want to be down 2 points, 2 touchdowns against this Sacred Heart team, or South Haven, excuse me. Sidelining warning.
Yeah, sideline warning on Sacred Heart.
Penalty flag was a sideline warning. Sacred Heart.
It looked like they're just getting a little bit too close there. That's now 3rd down and goal. Crawley with Dang and Gagliano to his sides. Hangs it off to Emmanuel Dang on the outside. Trying to get past the tackle, but will get stopped for 4th and goal.
That was a fantastic tackle.
Stop by number 33.
Great stop by Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown's really played a great game. Oh, wow. He really got him back way behind that line of scrimmage. It's going to be – they got about 8 yards to go here on 4th down. Great sequence by the defense. They can close it out here. They're going to have to close it out either way.
They managed to get back-to-back defensive stops that you said they couldn't get as Gagliano trying to get to the outside. He'll be stopped from getting into the end zone. Time for a turnover on downs.
4th down carry is stopped by the Knights.
And that was probably the most important sequence of the game. If Sacred Heart is going to go on to win this, they're going to look back at that series and say that won us the game. That stop right there could have made the difference in the score. But we'll see what their offense can do here.
For the Sacred Heart Knights.
It'll be 1st and 10 Knights from their own 5-yard line.
And 1st and 10 here for Sacred Heart.
It's going to be interesting to see what they come out and do now that they've had time to talk.
See how their communication has benefited them. It's Jalen Brown in the backfield. Will take the rush. Jalen Brown cuts it back to the left. Jalen Brown with open field. Jalen Brown trying to get to the outside. Emmanuel Dang, he can't be brought down. It's Gagliano who has to stop him at the 40-yard line. A big gain for the Sacred Heart Knights.
I'm sorry, but did you just see that hit? Look, watch this hit by number 11. That's Will Walker again. That kid is strong. Only a 10th grader, and look at that play. Look at this hit.
Big play.
Just opens up for the 40-yard gain.
Huge gain for the Sacred Heart Knights. Jalen Brown with a big rush. Ball's on the 41-yard line. I formation. pressure. Toss on the right, ball tipped up, and is it intercepted? Incomplete. Intended for Frankie Gagliano, almost got the interception there. Tipped up by the defense.
See, surprisingly, that's the lineman's fault. That's not the quarterback's fault. Quarterback should never be put into a situation where he needs to watch the hands of the defensive lineman. If the lineman is getting that close to your quarterback on a rollout, somebody needs to get in there and block.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10. A lucky break for Sacred Heart on that interception not occurring.
Yeah, and you're putting a drive together. That is a real drive killer and a momentum killer for that matter.
Here's 2nd and 10. It's a rush up the middle. Gain of 6 yards on the play for Will Hugley.
Gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Oh, they got to watch the emotions going on right now. That can really mess up a lot in a game, and for them to stay composed and deal with the emotions after the game with their team, that's different. But they need to make sure, because these leaders, their teammates are watching them and seeing what they're doing. It's important for them to keep their heads in it right now.
We saw 2 sideline warnings given to Sacred Heart last week against Lighthouse. So rush up the middle, spin out. Jake Wilson takes 3 guys to finally bring him down at the 46.
First down!
First down and 10 for Sacred Heart.
You know, Jake Wilson and Will Walker are 2 guys I'm really excited to see in the coming years. Both really strong athletic guys. They're going to be exciting here in a couple of years, even now. They really help this team go, have a lot of speed, have a lot of strength. Again, dual threat guys who can do a lot for you.
It's 1st and 10 Knights.
I mean, I'm just so surprised with how full of a team this Sacred Heart team has been able to put together. They have guys that are good at good at so many things.
Keeping their strengths even with the numbers they've had. As a pass in the middle, high and incomplete. Pass intended for Will Kale.
Brings up a 2nd down.
2nd down and 10. Crawley with the coverage on that one.
You know, Crawley, as young as he is, he's been playing great defense and has really stepped it up on the offensive end. Not the guy we were 100% expecting to see in there at quarterback tonight, but I mean, he's really taken the challenge head on this season, named the starting quarterback, and he's only going to grow from here.
Here's 2nd down for Sacred Heart. Pass again, easy catch. That's Will Huggle.
Pass complete to number 44, Will Hugley for a night.
Will Hugley with the big play. 1st down and 10 on the 32-yard line.
We were watching warm-ups with this Sacred Heart team, and one theme that we all saw was that these guys have soft hands. No matter how big they are, they catch it with finesse. In the open field, there's no way these guys are going to drop those passes. The defense needs to get up on them, especially Will Hugley. I mean, a guy who has a deceptively big and strong frame. Not to say that he's not, but he's quick and has great hands.
Rush up the middle, Will Hugley again.
Will Hugley with the carry.
Stopped by several. Oh, an interesting last-minute dive there. Looked like it could have been a late hit. That was Insenio Saver, the last one in the pile. And we've got an update. 20-6, Lighthouse Christian School leads over Franklin Christian Academy up in Antioch.
Regardless of the score, did you expect to see a 20-6 in this game? I thought it would be in the hundreds by now.
You thought it would be more close.
Seriously. Not necessarily close, but way higher scoring.
It's been a higher scoring game as there is a timeout called on the field. I think it's Sacred Heart calling penalty, moving it back. I guess we missed that from the official. Looked like a potential personal foul if it's moved back that far.
And I didn't see anything happen. I'm not really sure what's going on here.
It looked like with that late thing of Insenio Saver, he may have been shoved down with a late hit.
Well, I didn't see a flag. That's the only thing that I'm confused about.
So timeout called by the Patriots The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, Modern Medicine the Old-Fashioned Way, and TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. Second down and long after the penalty. Rush up the middle. Jalen Brown, ball loose. And the Knights retain it.
Brings up third down.
So third down and long still for Sacred Heart. There's an injury on the field. Miller Boyd, there is a flag as well. Miller Boyd clenching his hand.
It looks like his hand probably got stuck in a shoulder or in a helmet or something.
Unsportsmanlike conduct called on Sacred Heart. So they're moving the ball back even further.
See, these emotional penalties define the game. You have to keep your head in it. For a team with a lot of guys that haven't been in this situation yet, it's hard to control emotions because these emotions are normal. And these guys are passionate about what's going on. They put their hearts into it, but they need to understand that this is more than just them. This is a team sport.
It's Jalen Brown who got the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Was he even in the game?
Like to thank the South Haven film guy for asking our advice on things.
Third down and 34 here.
I gotta look up a referee's signal now and figuring out what that fist clench in the chest.
What happens when they clench fists and put their hand over their heart?
If anybody knows, aside from the hand over the heart being for the national anthem, if you know that referee signal, be sure to let us know in the comments.
Of all plays, he couldn't have turned the lapel mic on. It's the one we don't know what it is.
Here's a rush on the outside. Attempted pass. Wide open. It's caught by Jake Wilson. Jake Wilson to the end zone. He loses the ball towards the end zone.
That's a safety.
No, that's not a safety. The referee ruled it a touchback. That's the penalty we've seen in the NFL. Please tell me we have the replay on that one. But that we've seen in the NFL before of if you fumble it going into the end zone, it is a touchback, and it goes back in possession to South Haven.
Okay. You don't see that every day.
Fumbled it at the last second. My goodness.
Oh, that is awful. And now understandably, the Sacred Heart kids are pretty confused. They're not sure what just happened, but if you fumble in the back of the end zone, it is a touchback, and the other team gets it at the, I believe it's the 20. I don't know why they're lining up.
There is an official's timeout. I believe the referees are going to discuss. It looks like one of the referees is down towards the fence. Trying to tell. It looks like there's a referee down towards the fence. He's clenching a wrist. I think they're trying to get medical staff over there. Looks like something with his knee. It looked like he was calling something in the end zone and may have just tripped up on the sideline. So the referees are having a discussion.
I'm surprised that they're allowed to resume play with that going on in the back of the end zone.
I'm wondering if they're going to get somebody from the medical staff over to him.
The past 10 minutes of this game,
he's putting his hand up there too. And they do have a medical trainer going out. Hopefully everything's okay.
I'm telling you, Spencer, the past 10 minutes of this game have been the most confusing 10 minutes of football I've ever seen. we get 2 mysterious personal fouls, ball fumbled in the back of the end zone, and now there's a ref sitting by the fence hurt, and nobody even looking in his direction. I mean, this is just so confusing. But we're trying our best to help y'all understand this that are at home.
Hopefully the official is okay on the sideline, and we will step away. I'm trying to tell if the referees are going to resume play with a 3-man crew. And they are having a discussion with the Sacred Heart coach, trying to figure out what's going on here. And it's the official's left knee that's injured is what we're seeing from the sideline. They have several people gathering around to make sure he's all right. So they're going to operate with a 4-man crew and resume the game. And again, our best wishes go to him and hoping that everything is all right.
I didn't see the incident. I don't know if you caught it.
I think it was that he was the one who called it in the end zone for the touchback, and he may have just been trying to walk back and tripped. I didn't catch it either as Crawley hands it off to Deng. Manuel Deng on the right side is going to be stopped. Looks like at about the 25-yard line for a 1st and 10. It's a nice stop by Jake Wilson.
You know, it's important for Sacred Heart to shake this off. Their offense is still capable of moving down the field. They made a mistake, and it's time to move on from it.
You don't and you can't discredit that big play. Aside from the fumble at the end, for him to get to the outside and make that huge play, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and now they know they can move the ball. They just need to keep the mistakes to a minimum.
And
great defense on that play.
And preventing the ball from being moved by South Haven there.
That's the most important thing. This is still a very close game.
Gagliano unable to get past the line of scrimmage for a 3rd down and 4.
Oh, Deng didn't get the 1st down on that 1st down play?
He didn't look like he did. He got to the outside, maybe a few yards.
It was probably very close.
3rd down and 3 for South Haven, and again, a big stop must be made here by Sacred Heart to potentially shift the game, especially this late in the 3rd.
Yeah, if you can hold them off for this 2 or 3 yards, they're definitely going to have to punt it in this situation with 4:09 left in the 3rd quarter.
3rd down and 3. Rushing in the middle, brought down in the backfield.
By Will Hugley.
Crawley brought down by Will Hugley.
And who else than Will Hugley penetrating the backfield? He is tearing up their line right now. So I expect them to put the punting team in there now that they're backed up to the 25-yard line. And that's what they'll do. See, I'm not that aggressive. I wouldn't punt in that situation. Or I wouldn't go for it, that is.
Mm-hmm. And punted away. And they're just going to let it go down to the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 as Sacred Heart tries to get another score here. Pass on the left. Caught. Easy reception. He's still loose. Will Huggle to the outside. Will Huggle into the end zone for a touchdown for the Sacred Heart Knights.
Touchdown Knights! Will Hugley!
And Will Hugley, it looked like the defender was had a step on him, but just shrugged him off like it was a bug. Watch this, defender in pursuit, and I don't think we caught the end there. There's a defender in pursuit. As we see here, fakes the handoff. I even bit it. He throws it to Will Hugley in the open field. Defender's beating him off the step, gives him a stiff arm, and he's down. Now they have an opportunity to tie this thing up. We got a great ball game.
Big play for the Sacred Heart Knights. And timeout called by Sacred Heart here.
Timeout.
With
Knights.
2:59 left to go in the third quarter. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. And by TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. So the two-point conversion attempt here for Sacred Heart, trying to tie it up. And the Knights have used one of their timeouts this half. I believe they've used 2 thus far. But Sacred Heart trying to tie it up against the Patriots late in the third.
And he called a timeout. You don't usually see that before a two-point conversion, but this is crucial here. They can tie this game up.
And it's a rush on the right side for Jake Wilson. Can he get in? He will. It's a tie game for the Knights and the Patriots.
And just when you thought South Haven had momentum, Sacred Heart is right back in it.
28, your Knights 28.
We're right back to 0-0, almost through the third quarter.
Kickoff here for Sacred Heart. Kickoff, Emmanuel Dang picks it up on the right side. Emmanuel Dang steps out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, and South Haven, we'll see how they respond to that touchdown drive.
Yeah, this is a very important drive for South Haven.
South Haven making the long, about 3-hour travel from Springfield to come down here.
They're probably not excited for the bus ride back after this one. They're going to be out till 1 or later.
We're going to be back at 1 or later, going back to Franklin.
I don't think so. If we can get out of here 10:30-ish, hour 45 minutes.
You think the game and all the equipment will be packed up by then?
Get home, take a shower, and still have enough time to bang out the first episode of Ozark.
That's right, for you at least. Here's rush on the outside. Nice run by Frankie Gagliano to get the first down.
He's had an incredible game. And I'm excited to see the stats from this game for Dang and Gagliano. I bet you both of them have rushed for 100-plus yards tonight.
They got shut out last week against the Webb School, but the Patriots have bounced back in a big way to keep this contest tight, especially in a in-division game, which could be crucial for their seeding in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's either Webb really is that good or South Haven had a rough game or a little bit of both, but it looks like South Haven's bouncing back today.
Crawley in the shotgun, tosses it out to Dang, catch, spins out. Emmanuel Dang staying on his feet, avoids 3 tackles, can't avoid the 4th one, but gets down to about the 32-yard line. Emmanuel Dang is down on the ground on one knee. He is limping off.
It'll be a Patriots.
Hey, Spencer, you know what play that was? A flat route.
I have a feeling you're making a reference here that I should be getting.
I've been saying the whole game to guard it, and they won't.
You got to get a wire in their headsets at this
I do. I'll go down there and tell them, Coach, you got to guard the flats. I don't think they've completed maybe 1 or 2 both sides deep passes, but these flat routes are absolutely killing them.
So it's first down and 10 on the 31-yard line for South Haven. 2 receivers on left, 1 on right. Crawley hands it off to Gagliano up the middle. Gain of about 8 yards on the play for a 2nd and 2.
11, Will Walker. It's 2nd down.
I'm sure some people already have in their mind who they want to see as the extreme player of the week. And a 65-yard touchdown by none other than Michael Bund.
Of course.
26-6 right now is the score in Antioch. So the Lions of Lighthouse are trying to finish it up there in Antioch to get a home win.
And here we see the flat route wide open again. They got the back doing a little curl route in the flats, wide open. It seems like they're covering only back past the line of scrimmage.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd.
False start, Patriots.
So the Patriots will move it back 5 yards.
And I'm still confused about that Lighthouse game. I mean, why is it not higher scoring?
You would think FCA would get a little bit more of a
flat route wide open, nobody on the running back there.
Just on that.
Let's just hope Dang's okay because they're going to need him.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be fine. As looks like an offside. Looks like an offsides for the defense.
That's a tough break. Now their penalty is neglected.
Flag on the play.
Red ball. Encroachment on the defense.
Offside.
5 yards.
So an encroachment.
Other way,
called for 5 yards.
other way.
We'll turn off the referee's microphone. So yeah, still has his lapel mic on. He'll get it fixed on the next penalty for sure. We want to thank all 43 of you for watching this week's Extreme Game of the Week. Spencer Thompson, Isaiah Austin, Wayne Weathers on sound. Proud to be here from Jackson.
So thankful so many people could get on a Friday night with so many games going on.
It's Andrew Crawley up the middle, is going to be brought down for a first down at the 20-yard line. I mean, there's only one other game going on tonight.
That's right.
Yeah, there were 2 games yesterday, 2 games tonight. There's one game tomorrow night. So
it's a pretty light week in the MTAC.
10 teams active, so 5 games total.
Oh wow, but it's real spread out. 2-2-1.
Active week in the Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference.
Active week, not active days.
there will be a more active schedule going into next week. Weeks 7 and 8, September 21st and 28th. No teams have a bye week, so a lot of games will be going on later in September as Dang spins out a tackle but can't stay on his feet. Gets a gain of about 3 yards on the play for 2nd and 7.
Glad to see he's back in. It looked like he got his legs swiped a little bit. It looked to be unintentional, but I bet he hurt his legs on a few plays ago. Right back in the mix, running hard again. And we might see time expire here. Looks like they're going to try to get one more play in before the end of the quarter.
And the Patriots are going to try and get something else in here before the end of the third. Crawley will hand it off. Here goes Emmanuel Dang up the middle. Gain of maybe a yard. 3rd down and 6.
Play gained a yard. It'll be
That's going to be the end of the quarter.
The third is over. Only 12 minutes left in regulation. It is tied at 28 here in Jackson. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com.
Ow.
Let's go. 12 minutes left in regulation time. And a jump. Looks like it might be encroachment on the defense. Maybe a false
I think they
start.
might call this one on the offense, and they will.
False start, Patriots.
And now he's got his lapel mic off. Always good to know that the referees get those sorted.
Yeah, they're really thinking about it. Had us in mind during the game. That makes me feel so good.
Should we tell the Lancaster story, or you think it's too intense of a game right now?
I think we go tell it instead of commercial break sometime.
All right, we'll do that after the next touchdown.
We got to get everyone excited. We're on a 3rd down and in the red zone. Come on, Spencer.
3rd down in the red zone for the South Haven Patriots, looking to break the tie in the 4th. Crawley in the backfield. Looking for the pass. Toss on the right side. Intercepted. Almost. Could have been an easy interception for the Sacred Heart Knights.
It seemed like that ball stopped when it came down and then hit the ground. Tough break.
Nice sound effect there, Isaiah.
I'm trying to be as descriptive as I can here. The camera can only show so much. I mean,
you're right. But that would have been a huge shift for an interception. Sacred Heart not able to pull it in on that drive. Those 4th down for South Haven, and it looks like they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, as they should.
(26-6) the score out in Antioch. So Lighthouse Christian School just finishing it up as Crawley in the shotgun. Scrambles, looking for the pass on the right. Is going to take the rush. He'll get the first down with the dive. Just short, actually. That's right. They did change the rule. It's first down and 10. They did change the rule when you're going forward with a dive. I believe you're spotted at the point that you're tripped up. I believe they changed that this season.
Why is that the case? Did something cause that to be the case?
I think something was changed about it. It may have been a national change for the National Federation of High School Sports.
Okay.
But it's that when you're diving for the ball, even though that wasn't a dive, it was a trip. I believe you're stopped at the point where you were tripped is the new rule interpretation.
That confuses me.
Yeah, may not be agreed with, but it's a turnover.
Well, what if
on
you're
downs.
diving into the end zone?
That was the interesting question. I believe they had the discussions at the officiating meeting about it, but it was not. I'm
gonna have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why
I'm
they
not
would do
remembering
something like that.
specifically what was said at that officiating meeting in that regard. But regardless, it's first and 10 for Sacred Heart. New life on offense. Here's a rush. It's an attempted rush by Jake Wilson going up the middle.
Hey, there's nowhere for Wilson to go. Not a lot of effort by the offensive line on that play. They're going to need to step it up for the next 11 minutes and 30 seconds and get this team out here because they're in a position. They're in a position to drive this ball and get the lead.
Second down and 11. Sacred Heart is on their own 10-yard line, trying to march it down the field.
Be like for South Haven, what they need to do is stop getting themselves into third and fourth down situations in the red zone. But for Sacred Heart, it's to stop making so many mistakes.
And pass on the left side is caught down to the 25-yard line. Big reception. That was Will Kale on the catch. And third down and 5.
And that play seems to be working very well for them. Again, it's the short passes, it's the flats, it's the place where I don't know which defense. It appears to me that they're running a zone. I could be completely wrong on that, but it seems like the under flat passes are constantly open.
Here's third down and 5. Going to be a rush. And that's Will Huggle again. Big first down.
33, Jalen Brown for a nice first down.
Will Huggle with the domination.
Oh, that was Jalen Brown.
You're correct. It was Jalen Brown on that play, the senior leading for the big rush. Regardless of who it was, both of those names have been mentioned a lot here.
It's first and 10 from the 35.
He got the first down on a lot.
First and 10 on the 35. I formation, looking for the pass. It's going to be a rush. Jake Keel staying in bounds. Down for the first down at the 46.
Freshman quarterback has been nothing short of impressive in this. You see in that play, that's a bootleg situation. You fake the run, roll out to the outside, and force the linebacker to make a decision. The linebacker decided to stick with the bootleg, so he took off and got a few yards off of that, as opposed to the sack in that case.
So another first down as Sacred Heart drives down the field just outside of Patriots territory. The rush, Jake Wilson unable to get past the line of scrimmage. Second down and 12.
This line looks tired. They're not getting off the ball nearly quickly enough. It looked like we were playing in slow motion on that play. They're going to need to burst off the ball if they're going to be able to get anything moving down the field.
So it looks like Franklin Christian Academy finally got a score. It's 26-14 in the third quarter.
touchdown pass from
Holcomb to Buchanan.
Holcomb, yes, to Buchanan.
When I checked my phone, I expected that news.
So the Falcons finally got a second score in the third as they're going to call a false start on this one.
Flag on the play.
Dead ball, false start.
False start.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's a tough break.
A tough break there, and lapel mic not off again.
We can hear some of the Sacred Heart players down there trying to get their teammates
We're going to wait for
in the
another
right mind.
touchdown to tell that story. I really want to tell that Lancaster story at some point.
Which one are you talking about?
Talking about the one with the referee and the lapel mic.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. It was all good stuff, of course. All good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Of course.
So second down and about 17. In the shotgun, toss on the left, low pass incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
That was intended for Jake Wilson, and it's going to go to fourth down. Excuse me. They have the down indicator on third down, but I believe they're switching.
I think it's third.
It's third down.
Yeah,
Third
but
down.
this is a really, really, really important
17.
down. They have to start moving down the field here because I wouldn't trust South Haven's offense to be flat for much longer. They've held them without a score for this whole second half, but I don't know how much longer that's going to hold up. It's really important to move down the field and run this clock and get a score.
We'll see what Judd Powers can cook up for this 3rd and 17. All snapped. Scramble for Keel. Trying to toss it on the right side. It does get past the line of scrimmage, and they're going to throw a flag for intentional grounding.
Oh, I think he was at least 5 yards out of the pocket.
So they're going to call it intentional grounding, and it's a loss of down.
Tackle box in high school. That's not part of the. Yes, loss of down. It was fourth down. Fourth down. Intentional grounding.
Flag on the play. Intentional grounding.
So it's a loss of down. They were having a discussion with the official about the intentional grounding rule. Caught a little bit of that conversation in high school. He's saying something about the high school interpretation of the rule.
I was not aware of that until now.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I think I've seen it not called, and I've seen it called by different referees.
we saw it called. They were really strict on it last night in Fayetteville with the Swanee game. They were calling it no matter how much distance it made it past the line of scrimmage. I'd have to look at the rule book and see what the definition is on that for intentional grounding in high school. But Sacred Heart not liking
They're
that
prepared
call
to
as
punt.
Jacob Hayes is going to have to punt it away.
That's a booming punt.
And Emmanuel Dang muffs the snap on it and just falls on it at the 43-yard line. And the Knights are back to work with 9:01 left to go in the fourth.
With 9:01 to play.
So first down and 10.
There's no such.
So the referee's lapel mic still on there. Playing the MC Hammer music for 1st and 10. Ball snapped, handed off, fake. It's Crawley brought down for a sack. Tried to rush it there.
Oh, quarterback to quarterback there.
Jake Keel with a big play.
Jake Keel,
2nd and 15.
the 9th grade quarterback, taking down the 10th grade quarterback.
Second down and 15.
I think these two teams have two of the brightest young quarterbacks in the league, guys that we could really see really developing into great quarterbacks here throughout the season and over the next few years. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
Crawley hands it off. It's Gagliano. Brought down at the 44-yard line. 3rd down and 9.
By number 13, Colin England. Brings up a 3rd down and 8.
Actually, about 3rd down and 7.
And this is the defense that we saw against Lighthouse in the second half, really turning it on. I mean, I don't know what you were thinking, but I thought this was going to be incredibly high scoring, and now we're seeing a game that is 28-28 in the 4th quarter. I would not have expected that at all.
Close game as South Haven is trying to get something going here, and they're going to throw flags. Looks like offsides for Sacred Heart.
Mark it off, Mark.
So we'll get his microphone on in just a moment.
False start.
Well, one way, D.
Waiting for official call.
I think the referees might have been confused on that one. I really thought that was offsides on the defense.
They called it false start on the offense. So they
seemed
bring
like a little
it back.
miscommunication between the referees. One was calling it one thing, the other was calling another.
Timeout.
And
Patriots.
timeout called by South Haven. So the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. Third down and 14.
It's 3rd down.
Crawley looking for the pass. Andrew Crawley under pressure. He's going to try to run it. Brought down for a sack.
Sack.
Takes 3 Sacred Heart guys to bring him down, and it's 4th and long.
It's 4th down.
32-12 out in Antioch is the score right now.
After a 44-yard touchdown run by Bund. Who else?
Who else? Just no words for that. There's just no words for that Lighthouse man. 4th down and long. So South Haven will punt it away. And deep.
Oh, he almost got that blocked.
Jalen Brown to receive it, but he's just going to let it bounce all the way down to the 32-yard line. And Sacred Heart has another chance.
Will Walker almost got back there to block the punt, but barely missed it, and they got a good boot out of that.
6:41 left to go in regulation. So we'll go ahead and tell the story here. So obviously with the lapel microphone, you can hear it still on the official right now. But we were in a commercial break for the Tennessee Heat Lancaster game. And we were just waiting in the booth for what was going on. And obviously we had it muted for those watching the broadcast. But we had it to where it could still be heard by us in our headsets. And the referee for the Lancaster game started talking about his garden. And he was talking about, I'm trying to water all my plants and such, but I don't have a long enough garden hose to get to the tomatoes and such. It's just one of those funny moments as a rush to Jake Wilson on the outside, stays in bounds and stops the clock. at the 45-yard line. A big gain for South Haven.
And we saw some great play from these guys against Lighthouse last week, but I feel like people like Jake Wilson and Jalen Brown and Will Walker and those guys are really starting to show out as the leaders of this team. They're starting to kind of differentiate themselves from the other players on the field and show what they have and what unique gifts that they have. And of course, Will Huggle is somebody that we already knew what he was capable of he was a standout player from the beginning.
Jake Wilson gets the ball. He weaves through the defense. Jake Wilson is all the way to the end zone. Sacred Heart touchdown.
Touchdown!
What a replay moment.
Jake Wilson!
Man, just a simple 9 play. He bounces to the outside and just outruns all of the people in the secondary. That gives them their first lead in a long time.
And Jake Wilson, again, the freshman.
I still can't believe he's a freshman with
all
that
the
speed.
freshmen showing up here. And this 2-point conversion, you mentioned it was crucial earlier for the tie. It's crucial here.
It is, because even if South Haven scores here on the next possession, they're still looking at a 2-touchdown possibility game if they don't get the 2-point conversion.
So Sacred Heart, pass out to the left. It's caught. 2-point conversion is good. Jake Wilson with the catch. 36-28 with 6:04 left in regulation. The Sacred Heart Knights have the lead in Jackson.
And your score with 6:04 to left.
There we go. Outside, out of bounds, and looks like it may have been touched by one of the
I believe it was
players. And the officials confer.
It was hard to get an angle on that. But we were able to see it with our eyes. It looked like he touched it before it went out. Really did.
Procedure on the kicking team, 5 yards, re-kick.
They're going to re-kick it.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
They just call it an illegal procedure on the kicking team.
But again, it was tough. That was a tough angle for the ref to make such a big call like that. You need to go with your gut on that one and what you all can agree on there. It's a tough angle, especially if a referee's not in the vicinity.
So it looked like it could have been a huge field deficit for South Haven. So it's moved back 5 yards, and Sacred Heart will kick it from their own 35.
It'll be a nice re-kick.
That was a super good kick. I mean, I feel like he can kick it from the 35 and still get a ton of range on that. Let's just hope he gets the same lucky kick that he did last time.
So we'll see what he's got on this one. Kicked in the middle. There's Gagliano. Picks it up. Trying to weave through, is brought down at the 37-yard line. So South Haven will start their attempt at getting back in this ball game.
and this game is nowhere close to being over here. We're going to see a very, very crucial drive. This drive could very well define the outcome of this game.
So it's in the fourth quarter right now for the Lighthouse Franklin Christian game. 32-12 is the score. And as of 7 minutes ago, it was a 44-yard touchdown run by Bunn. So we may be getting close to the end of that game out in Antioch. And we're getting close to the end of the game here in Jackson, Tennessee. South Haven hands it off. Gagliano up the middle, has an opening to the left side. Trying to weave through. He's going to be stopped at the 49-yard line. First down and 10 as the Patriots move it down the field.
Gagliano has touched the ball an incredible amount of times here. That's great sportsmanship right there by Gagliano over there helping up the Sacred Heart guys, even though his team's in a position where they have to make this drive work, and he's over there sacrificing his time and energy to help other guys. That's a team player right there. And that's what you love to see.
5:40 left to go in regulation as the Patriots are down by 8. Trying to get a touchdown and a chance to tie it up. Crawley under center. He's got Gagliano in the backfield. Crawley hands it off. Here's Gagliano up the middle. Weaves through. Frank Gagliano brought down. First down and 10 on the 39-yard line. Tackle by Will Walker.
And they're driving, but we got a penalty on the field.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Knights.
And if that's on Jalen Brown, he's out.
The referees are conferring here, the head referee having a chat on the sideline.
I hope it's not on Jalen Brown because he was putting his hands up in confusion. If that's on him, that's 2, and he's out.
They're making sure their book lines up. I don't know if it's 2 and out at the high school level. I know
really?
I know that is at the NFL level. It's 2 personal fouls and you're immediately ejected, or 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. But they're not going to enforce that here.
I feel like I've learned so many different rules in the past 2 hours.
I study the rules of the NFL, but I should be studying the rules of high school. As the play clock resumes, 1st and 10, hand it off. It's a rush on the outside this time by Nathan Starnes. Nathan Starnes trying to get through. Gain of about 6 yards on the play for make that 5 for 2nd and 5.
Haven't seen Nathan Starnes in the backfield yet, but great run to the outside. That's all they need to do is they have the clock on their hands. They have plenty of time to go through this drive. Whatever they have to do to move the ball and score, they can do. They just need to rely on their 2-point conversion team. Because if they don't get the 2-point conversion, that could change the whole trajectory of this game.
2nd down and 5. Crawley under center. Hands it off. It's Gagliano again, brought down.
Gagliano on the carry.
Gain of about 2 yards on the play for 2nd down and 3. Excuse me, 3rd down and 3.
Brings up 3rd down.
The first quarter was a shootout. The second quarter was a shootout with minimal touchdowns. The third quarter was a defensive showdown. And now we're just seeing an absolute brawl, like defense versus offense, making great stops. Great plays are happening, but it's because they're able to find holes in the great defense. It's just been a really exciting game to watch. It's been a roller coaster so far.
As it's pitched out to Emmanuel Dang on the right side. Emmanuel Dang tripped up. He does get the first down and more. 1st and 10 for South Haven. Since the clock is winding down, let's see if we can get a shot of Coach Jason Zimmerman, since we've got a little bit of time here.
Where is he?
Official
I think
timeout.
just passed him. That is not him. I think he's in the huddle over there
he is.
somewhere. That's Jason Zimmerman in his 2nd season as an 8-man football coach. He is 8-1. And there's time on the field. I believe they have a player injured being evaluated for a concussion protocol. That is Insenio Saver, the senior, who's being evaluated. But Jason Zimmerman and Michael Crawley next to him, the defensive coordinator, head coach Zimmerman, and offensive coordinator Michael Crawley. But Zimmerman is in his second season. He was 8-1 overall last year and won the MTAC Championship. Led the Patriots from a winless season to their victory. And let's go ahead and get a shot of Coach Judd Powers since we have this timeout here for the injury. And we'll see if we can get him on the sideline there. There he is, Coach Judd Powers. He's in his first season as an 8-man football coach, looking to go 1-0 as a positive record. Last year in 11-man football in the TSCC, the Knights were 0-6. So Judd Powers trying to lead his team to their second victory. So he's 1-0 right now with his victory against Lighthouse last week, trying to go 2-0, not only on his record, but also 2-0 in division this season. So those are your coaches for both of the games. Both sides of the field.
Did we see which player was down?
I believe it was Insenio Saver had his helmet off, and he had to go to the – I think his helmet came off, and they had to give him a concussion protocol. And he is back in the field. There were some players who were down.
I thought it was helmet comes off, one play, you're back.
Well, I guess not because Saver is still in the game.
I've been taken out of the game for my helmet coming off.
You have, but I don't know if they do here. As Crawley hands it off to Emmanuel Deng on the right side. Emmanuel Deng trying to get through.
Emmanuel Deng on the carry.
Gets a gain of about 8 yards on the play for 2nd down and 2.
Brings up 2nd down.
And the clock will stop for him because he ran out of bounds. But, I mean, if South Haven scores here, then Sacred Heart's going to have a great opportunity to march down the field. Not sure how many timeouts they have left, but they have time left on the clock.
Plenty of time with 3:21 left to go as the Patriots are on 2nd down and 5. Crawley hands it off. Gagliano trying to pull him down short. It's a touchdown for the Patriots. A 2-point conversion away from sending this to a potential overtime.
This game has been absolutely phenomenal so far. And we got another injury down on the field.
And we've got another player injured over there. It's number 11, Will Walker for Sacred Heart, who's down on the field.
That is a tough loss if he's hurt. Let's hope it's just a cramp because they're going to need him.
Yeah, especially as he was getting the tackle there. And we will step aside for an injury timeout. So back on the field, they took Will Walker to the sideline. Hopefully is okay. 2-point conversion attempt. Gagliano up the middle. He's going to plow through, and it's tied up.
And things just got interesting.
So with 3:14 to play.
3:14 left on the game clock, and it's a tie game at 36. The Knights and the Patriots keeping it interesting. Be an interesting question. When was the last time you saw a game go to overtime in 8-man football?
Oh, that's a good question.
That'd be an interesting question for the official as well on what the
Now,
overtime
what's the rule?
is.
Do you start at the 30?
That's an interesting question. We need an officiating expert up in the booth. We'll see if we can make that happen for the championship. Have one of the football referees or maybe one of the officiating supervisors in the booth. That'd be cool to have somebody who could do rule interpretation.
Yeah, it really would.
But in terms of now, we don't know what an overtime situation would be. But there's still 3 minutes on the game clock. So Sacred Heart, or if the Patriots get it back, both of them have a chance to break that tie.
Yeah, and for all these people watching this game, you're lucky that you tuned in. For those of you who aren't, you're really missing out on this one. We got one of the best games of the year so far, tied at 36 with 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Can the new young MTAC team come back?
Onside kick. There is a flag, probably an illegal procedure.
Flag on the play.
I don't understand why you onside it here, because you're giving a team that has the clock in their favor to run down the field and score a touchdown as time expires.
So it looked like it was either a false start or a legal procedure on the kicking team, and they're moving it back to the 35-yard line.
I mean, I understand putting pressure on the return team, but kicking it onside in this situation, I don't know, especially now that they're going to be giving the ball past the 50-yard line.
They're probably not going to kick an onside kick since now Sacred Heart would be expecting it.
They've kicked an onside kick almost every time, though.
Yeah, that's the question. And they're kicking it low, and it's easy catch made there by that is Jake Wilson, who's staying on his feet. Jake Wilson to the left side, out at about the 40, looks like about the 42-yard line is where they'll spot it, and great field advantage for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, and I think they squibbed it to the wrong guy. Wilson there with his great speed, bouncing to the outside, and picking up great field position. He's got this team in a great position to win this game, but we'll see what happens.
Just 3:05 left to go for Sacred Heart and South Haven. Can Jason Zimmerman's defense make the stop, or will Judd Powers' offense take the lead? First down and 10.
If they don't hurry, they might be looking at a delay of game.
I formation, motion signaled on the play, and pitch to the Jake Wilson trying to stay up. Brought down for a huge loss in the backfield. That's Brian Varula, the senior, making the play.
Yeah, and there was no one for him to go. The linemen just need to be told, give me 10 more plays. That's all. That's all we need. We need blocking for 10 more plays. Both sides are tired, but it's going to be which line is willing to push through it and work the hardest. It's going to be the victor in this game.
Second down and about 19 for Sacred Heart. Brought back into their own territory on that sack. So it's second down and 19. Ball snapped and pass attempt. Looking for it on the right side. No one out of bounds, and time called. It is third down. It's no intentional grounding called on that. He managed to get it past, and third down and 19. Third down and 19. Ball pitched out. It's a rush on the right side for Jake Wilson. Wilson trying to spin out tackles. The South Haven defense will bring him down for a fourth and long.
There's a flag on the play.
There's a flag on the play, though, from the sideline. Trying to see what the official is going to call here.
5-yard face mask.
A lucky break.
Oh, that might be the break they needed.
A lucky break for Sacred Heart. 5 yards up, and it's still 3rd down.
So face mask is only a 5-yard penalty?
It depends. It used to be there was a face mask and a personal foul face mask in the NFL at least, but it depends. I think in high school they still have the intentional or accidental face mask. I formation on 3rd and 16. Toss to the left side. It is almost caught. Flag not thrown. No pass interference on there. It looked like one of the officials was about to throw something, but it's now 4th down. It's now about 4th down.
That's an incredibly tough break. And now they're most likely going to give this ball back to South Haven's offense, who is just playing phenomenal.
We're spotting it back for 4th down and about 16.
Yeah, they need to punt it in this situation. They absolutely need to punt it in this situation.
And you can hear Zimmerman shouting from the sideline, "Don't rush the punter," trying to make sure that there is no rush on there.
Yeah, no, that could be the worst decision they could make.
Yeah. Potential roughing the punter that would effectively end the game.
And again, Franklin Christian just scored again against Lighthouse.
38-20.
Looks like 38-20, what's most likely going to be the final.
And it's going to be punted away. And it may bounce all the way back to about the 5-yard line.
Wow, that was a great punt. He's got it right inside of the 5.
Great to make sure. It's a great punt to make sure that they do not have much of a chance. It's 1:29 left in regulation, and we may have ourselves an overtime game. First one in a while.
Yeah, and I don't remember the last time I saw an overtime game in the MTAC, but we might be seeing our first tonight if they can hold this defense. Held them to 8 points in the second half. But remember, they're coming off a touchdown.
And again, we have seen, and we have not had an overtime game for an 8-man Extreme broadcast, but it's been many years since we've actually had an overtime game in 8-man football.
Is that the case?
I don't remember the last time. We need our statistician, James Shannon, up here to tell us when the last overtime game was, but he's not in the booth. He's out traveling to visit family as it's rushed up the middle by Emmanuel Dang. I guess they're just going to rush it down here.
Yeah, they got to run a hurry-up.
So, hurry-up offense.
And a timeout on the play.
Yep.
It'll be 2nd down.
So timeout called by the Patriots, and we are going to step aside. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. One minute and 16 seconds left to go in regulation. The Patriots are trying to march it down the field to prevent overtime. Crawley in the shotgun, scrambling around, looking for the pass. He's going to toss it up the middle. It's caught by incomplete. Intended pass there for intended for Franklin Gagliano. 3rd down for South Haven.
Man, Crowley has an hour to throw that ball. The protection is great. But those receivers just need to run quicker routes and get open.
And there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Waiting for the signal from the official. It's an illegal shift on the offense. The penalty has been declined, and it's third down.
Brings up third down.
I have a feeling we're going to see an overtime here unless there's a big play that probably shouldn't happen. But both defenses are sharp. Both teams are playing fantastic. I don't know if anybody's going to let up in this last minute and 7 seconds. But we've seen crazier things, and there's been breakout plays in this game. So that's something to watch out for.
South Haven snaps the ball. It's going to the left side. Emmanuel Dang trying to weave through, and he gets brought down.
Carry, stopped by number 11,
Gain
Will
of
Walker.
a few yards. Third down and two. Excuse me, fourth down and two. The big stop there for Sacred Heart as a timeout is called by the Knights.
This is what you would consider an exciting moment for Sacred Heart. They weren't able to get anything on the last drive, but now they have an opportunity to march.
57 seconds left in regulation and a timeout called by Sacred Heart. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. Fourth down and long. It's going to be a punt away for the Patriots, and it gets to about the 35-yard line on the punt.
At their own 35, it'll be first and 10.
53 seconds for the Knights. This is potentially the end of the game with that muffed punt.
Yeah, but I wouldn't speak too soon. They got 35 yards to go in 53 seconds, and if I'm not mistaken, they have one or no more timeouts remaining. So can this team put a passing game together that's going to get them yards, or are they going to rely on the run game and try to go 3 or 4 rushes and try to force out overtime? We'll see what happens.
We'll see what Judd Powers.
One timeout. The ref is saying one timeout remaining.
One timeout left for the Knights. So they at least have one chance to stop the clock if a rushing play does not play out. And it looks like they may pass it here. They've got Will Keel in the shotgun. But he's with Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown is going to take it on the left side. Jalen Brown is loose, and Jalen Brown is into the end zone for a Sacred Heart touchdown.
Touchdown, Knights!
I can just feel the energy at this field right now. Everybody is so excited. This team coming from a really disappointing season last year to now being in an opportunity to go 2-0. Great rush to the outside by Jalen Brown. He's been huge this game.
Just the brilliance of that play, too, for him to get to the outside.
Now, again, this two-point conversion is important. If they can score, they can still pull the game out with this two-point conversion.
So this two-point conversion attempt crucial. Ball snapped. And there's Jalen Brown going to the outside. He's in. Two-point conversion is good.
Man, Jalen Brown is so quick. He doesn't even need blockers. He can beat anybody to the outside.
Jalen Brown is good.
44-36. 40 seconds left in the game. Potential overtime if South Haven could drive it down, but with 40 seconds and the way South Haven's offense has been, it may be a miracle needed.
Yeah, definitely. They only have one touchdown in the past 24 minutes of play, and I mean, I don't see them being able to get it done at this point. They don't have a offense that is set up for this type of situation. They can keep it close the whole game. They can run the ball. They can run it down your throat. They can throw the ball when they have to, but they really don't have an offense set up for 40-second offense that they can run and have a quarterback in there that's experienced in these kind of situations. So it's going to be interesting to see what they try to do here because they have a great coaching staff. They have great play calling. So let's see what they have up their sleeve.
Now both teams have kicked the ball onside kick or squib-like and have not actually kicked it deep in the past. So we'll see if they're going to try to boot it deep, relying on their kicker, Jacob Hayes. And deep back to receive, it looks like Emmanuel Dang. And they will kick it at least somewhat deep. It's going to bounce out of bounds. They're going to let it go out.
I think he touched it.
He didn't touch it before it went out of bounds.
Well, he touched it before the whistle had been blown. Sorry, Smith. I'm not going to forget my glasses again.
Right, yeah,
I learned my lesson.
Do you wear contacts?
I don't. I can't stand contacts.
Kicking team, 5 yards, re-kick.
So they're just going to re-kick with the illegal procedure.
But that's no time's run off the clock. But no, I don't wear contacts. I wear glasses. I feel like if I had contacts, I'd end up destroying my eyes because I'd be so crazy. I'd be flipping my eyelids up and stuff. I don't know.
Sleeping with them on, right?
I would forget. Dude. I would not remember.
Yeah, that's the main thing that optometrists tell their patients about contacts is always, doesn't matter what they say, take them out.
I'm going to forget that I even have contacts. In 2 weeks, I'm going to wake up with what I think is pink eye in both eyes, and it's going to be a infection in the cones of my eyes.
At least you're honest with yourself. That's the important thing. And kick deep, picked up by Emmanuel Dang. He's going to take the rush up the middle. Emmanuel Dang is loose. Emmanuel Dang to the outside, weaving through, and a big play. Emmanuel Dang is down.
And that's going to be a call for block in the back. That was a really obvious hit, block in the back, and I think it's coming back.
There is an injured player on the field.
And Emmanuel Dang is down. There's a block in the back. See if the referee will give us the call. It's a block in the back on the return team, but Emmanuel Dang is down.
He's really laying in a weird position there. I wonder if it's a back injury.
Zimmerman and the coaching staff are going to look at him. And Emmanuel Dang, one of the key contributors to tonight's South Haven squad. Looks like he got tackled from behind, but let's look at this replay and see if we can piece together any information.
Yeah, you'll be able to see the block in the back fairly quickly here. You see that? That's the block in the back that they called him for. And
Emmanuel Dang rushing with it there, and he was
I
just
see.
From behind.
Looks like maybe a back injury.
Yeah, right to his back there.
Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, so Emmanuel Dang, hoping everything is all right with him, the training staff, and Zimmerman able to lift him up.
Looks like he may have got the breath knocked out of him. Looks like he's up, but appears to be in a lot of pain right now. Oh, he's walking to the wrong sideline.
They're taking him off just to have him evaluated.
Oh, I see.
And it looks like he's clenching something with his arm. It may be something. It could also be something broken.
Hopefully it's not any kind of severe spinal injury, because that can cause pain in a lot of other parts of your body, because your spine is a big connector.
So they bring it all the way back to the 21-yard line for the Patriots.
And it's funny enough, that block in the back really didn't affect the return, and now that has possibly ruined their chances at winning this game. It's little mistakes.
We'll see if Michael Crawley has any of that championship magic left in him for this game. 30 seconds left to work with, and I'm not sure how many timeouts the Patriots have, but they might be able to do some quick passes to the outside. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Crawley looking for the pass. Looks for it. Scrambling. Passes it on the right side. It's an incomplete pass. And time called.
Incomplete.
21 seconds.
Brings up second down.
Second and
with
10.
21 seconds left.
And this is an absolutely amazing game that we got to watch tonight. Whatever happens, and I mean, if he throws this ball down the field and they end up bringing it to overtime, it's going to be even more amazing.
Do you know what the score is? Do you know what the score is right now for Lighthouse?
38-20 final in Lighthouse. Lighthouse over FCA.
So Lighthouse gets the victory on the against the South team. And it may be the South Haven victory over the North team here as Crawley looking in the pocket. He's alone, going to be chased down. Pass over intended, incomplete. That pass intended for Frankie Gagliano. 14 seconds on third down.
Oh, we got another injury here.
And I think it was Gagliano.
Wow, we see the 1-2 punch both go out within 26 seconds.
Didn't get the replay on that one to piece it together, but there is an injury for.
It looks like one of the Sacred Heart players went in after the ball because he hadn't heard a whistle yet, and it's hard to stop your momentum when you're headed in. And it looks like he may have gone helmet to helmet or knocked him around.
Well, it's interesting. He had his helmet off, and you're right. Players have been taken out. That was Will Keel who had his helmet off. But, again, usually they're supposed to be taken out for a play. Just not.
Is he right back in?
Yeah, he's back in the game.
Oh, good thing he's okay. At least they have a back that they can rely on.
Here's Crawley, shotgun, looking for the pass. Scrambles. Tosses it to the left. It's over to Gagliano.
He got him inbounds. He got him inbounds. That's going to be it.
Will wind down. The Knights have done it.
Oh, they're calling a flag.
There is a flag in the backfield. The clock is stopped.
There is a flag on the play.
It is a first down, so that the clock stops while the chains are moving.
We're going to see what the call is here by the official. I think he got his lapel mic situated. Illegal man downfield on the offense.
That's ball game.
And
penalties on the Patriots.
They need to accept it and let the clock run out as they reach for the 50.
The referee's having a discussion, and I think the batteries on his lapel mic are dead.
See, this referee threw his hat. I didn't even notice
there's a penalty flag, and then there's a hat. They have to throw something.
What, were there really that many penalties on the play?
It might have been. Maybe something on the side.
Did they all just notice, wow, illegal man downfield? Because I didn't catch that.
Well, the Patriots are lining up for one more play with the clock stopping, so we're going to see what the referee has. They're trying to sort it out here on the field. Again, the official has his microphone off. They're talking with Coach Powers on the sideline. Waiting for the.
I'm confused why they wouldn't give Coach Powers the opportunity to decline the penalty and let the clock keep moving, as it would be a first down but was inbounds.
So it's an illegal man downfield on the offense, and I believe.
Why wouldn't they decline it and let the clock keep moving?
There may be 1 second. There are 4 seconds left on the game clock. We had it wind down on our end, but 4 seconds left in the game, and this is do or die here.
Down.
Do we know? Is there any Aaron Rodgers magic in 8-man football? We'll find out in a few moments. And they'll run the clock. And the final seconds, time expires. Crawley up the middle, and the Knights have done it. 46 to
44.
It's
You're too excited.
44 to 36. The Knights are 2-0 in the North against the defending MTAC champions.
And I can't believe South Haven is about to fall to 0-2. That blows my mind. But
no one would have predicted
all
that
props
in the
to
preseason.
Sacred Heart. They have really fought the past 2 weeks and are right in as the number one seed, tied for number 1 seed in the North right now with their first season back in the MTAC.
And we are going to head down onto Instagram for the post-game interview with Coach Judd Powers and getting the handshakes and huddles. We will be back. Thank you for watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. The post-game is on Instagram Live at 8-Man Extreme. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week has been brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, and by TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com.